Here are 10 cars that I think are great for pursuits and Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now, I know a list like this is somewhat subjective, as pretty much any car can get the job done as long as you drive well enough, but these are the cars that I personally feel stand out above the rest. Starting off at number 10, we have the Audi TT, and while I don't think this is the best car for ramming cops and smashing through roadblocks, the fact that it's all-wheel drive with decent enough handling and acceleration makes it good for getting out of tight situations like box formations. At number 9, we have a car that actually surprised me a little bit. We have the Mazda RX-8, and coming in at a whopping 1631 kilos according to NFS VLT Edit, this car has a surprisingly strong ability to take out cops and ram through roadblocks. Also, its handling is overall decent, allowing you to make evasive maneuvers easily. Number 8, we have the Golf GTI, which made the list for the simple fact that it can go from the beginning of the game to the end and handle all 5 heat levels comfortably. Still, in terms of sheer pursuit capabilities, there are better choices. Number 7, we have the M3 GTR, which I'm putting a little lower on this list for 2 reasons. Number 1 being is that without the use of PC mods, it's stuck with a level 1 nitrous upgrade. And the second thing is that obviously you don't get it back until the end of the game, so you don't really get much of a chance to use it. But if you're looking to go back and complete the rap sheet 100% or any missing milestones, the M3 GTR is still a solid choice with great ramming ability overall, and of course, great acceleration and handling. Number 6, we actually have a tie between the Evo and the STI, and both of these cars have pretty similar capabilities in terms of weight, power, maneuverability, ramming cops, and smashing through roadblocks. Either car is a solid choice, and you can't go wrong. At number 5, we have the 911 Turbo, which has good acceleration, is decently heavy, but the only weakness, as I've said before, is its handling, as this car tends to understeer quite a bit. Number 4, we have the Lamborghini Murcielago, which, in terms of overall pursuit capabilities, is not super different from the 911 Turbo, but I'm putting it above the 911 Turbo for the fact that it's slightly heavier and has better handling. Still, the difference between the two is honestly negligible. Number 3, we have the Aston Martin DB9, the overall heaviest purchasable car in the game, and it definitely shows it with its ability to take out cop cars and roadblocks. I mean, this thing is just an absolute unit. But this kind of brute force does come at a cost, which unfortunately is its maneuverability. At number 2, we have the second heaviest purchasable car in the game, the SLR McLaren, which has excellent acceleration and, unlike the DB9, handles incredibly well. It can handle itself against rhinos and can take out cop cars without the use of speed breaker. It is just overall amazing for pursuits. Before I finish with my number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions, starting off with the CLK 500, and I'm not gonna lie, the CLK 500 kinda disappointed me as it didn't have a lot of the weight or ramming power as I thought it did, and as I'm sure we're all well aware, it's still one of the worst handling cars in the game. But I'm willing to give it some credit and give it an honorable mention, as it's pretty decent overall in pursuits and can hold its own. Next up, the Toyota Supra, which is surprisingly good at ramming through roadblocks and taking out cop cars, and it's got decent handling, but the problem I've found with it is that it gets pit maneuvered and pushed around by the cops rather easily. Also, its constant sliding and wheel spin at lower speeds don't do it any favors either. But after starting yet another new playthrough of the game, I've found that it's actually quite solid for the early to mid-game pursuits. Next is the Ford Mustang, which has solid handling and ramming ability, but unlike the other cars on this list, seems to lack the pushing power for getting out of tight situations. Also, like in the case of the Supra, the wheel spin just doesn't help. Last of the honorable mentions is the GTO/Monaro, and both are pretty heavy and good at ramming cops, but have overall probably the worst handling in the game. And honestly, I like to think of these cars as worse versions of the DB9. And finally, my favorite car for pursuits is the Lamborghini Gallardo, which is an absolute blast to drive against the cops. It handles amazingly, the all-wheel drive makes it super maneuverable, the acceleration is phenomenal, and it's got just enough weight on it that it can easily take out cop cars and roadblocks, but not so much weight to the point where it's hard to drive like in the case of the DB9. It is probably, in my opinion, the overall most balanced pursuit car, and my personal favorite to use against Heat 5. So I guess that's gonna do it for today's video. If you enjoyed or found this video helpful, feel free to leave a like. And also comment down your favorite cars for pursuits, because as I said, this is a subjective list, and I'd be interested to see the cars you guys like to use for pursuits. Also, if you want to keep up with all of my future videos, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Anyways, that's gonna be it from me. See you on the next one.